Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 376 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen to more DCEU news. First up, this is coming from Heroic Hollywood, and with a grain of salt, however, because this is Heroic Hollywood after all, but they're saying this is an exclusive from them. Warner Brothers on the hunt for new Batgirl movie director. Batgirl has become a top priority over at DC Films and Warner Brothers, with a hunt for a new director currently underway. Warner Brothers has had a ton of success in putting superhero movies with female leads at forefront of the DC Films slate. Wonder Woman was a critical and financial success that led to DC Films green-lighting a sequel titled Wonder Woman 1984, and other female-led films like Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, Supergirl, and Batgirl. Now that Wonder Woman 1984 and Birds of Prey have finished filming and entered post-production, Warner Brothers and DC are moving their focus to Batgirl. What's also interesting in that report is that earlier today, a production grid had revealed that Supergirl could begin filming as soon as early of 2020. But according to Heroic Hollywood, this is not the case, as the movie isn't as much of a priority as Batgirl at Warner Brothers. According to a source, Batgirl is currently a big priority, and the studio is even searching for a director for the project. Now, we don't have any names as who could direct Batgirl, but this should be taken as a good sign that Christina Hodson has delivered a fantastic script. Joss Whedon previously signed on to write, direct, and produce a Batgirl film before exiting the project, stating he could not crack the story for it. A couple months later, Bumblebee writer Christina Hodson was hired to pen the Batgirl script after reportedly impressing Warner Brothers with her work on the screenplay for Birds of Prey. Batgirl is one of the many projects currently being developed by Warner Brothers and DC. These projects include The Flash standalone film, Green Lantern Corps, Black Adam, Supergirl, and New Gods. So this is all coming from Heroic Hollywood. No other site has substantiated these claims at all. The Supergirl production grid came from Daniel Rickman at Daniel RPK, a proposed scooper. So that's that coming from that. But he also noted that someone told him that this placeholder for Supergirl is actually this date for Supergirl is actually a placeholder date, so it'll be for something else, in which Heroic Hollywood is suggesting this placeholder will be actually for Batgirl. So interesting enough that it gives a little bit more credence to other people who have said that Batgirl and Supergirl are next in line to become films by DC Films and Warner Brothers. This is something that Mark Hughes also has claimed in his Forbes article as well. Seemingly, this thing is actually being being passed around for this date. It makes sense for Batgirl though, because if they like what they did with Birds of Prey, they finished Birds of Prey. She's working on the Batgirl script. That's something that she's working on, and in a way, it would probably connect together with the Harley Quinn universe. Harley Quinn may even show up. Who knows? But Harley Quinn universe of Birds of Prey, and possibly even connect to the Suicide Squad, depending on that. I think there's supposed to be another Harley Quinn movie as well. So it's really girl power over there at Warner Brothers and DC Films. Very much like what MCU is trying to play catch up with their Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel 2, Black Widow. But DC is ahead of its time, ahead of the genre by doing it faster and quicker in that element, and it looks like that's the direction where they want to go in, especially probably because they don't really have a Superman movie right now. They're working on a Batman movie for sure, but for Superman, not sure. I think this could be great news for people out there who are looking forward to a Batgirl movie. We've never had a Batgirl movie, so that's something to look forward to. We never had a good Supergirl movie, although the Helen Slater one was not too bad, and it's probably because it's ingrained in my nostalgia. But I'd like to think that if they are really thinking about Supergirl, and if they are really thinking about Batgirl, that at that point in time, the whole story about Batman not being a birds of prey could eventually turn to Batman actually coming back to Gotham, and then maybe, possibly maybe, if it's not Ben Affleck and if it's not Henry Cavill, that will be their starting point in order to introduce the new Superman, introduce the new Batman, whoever they're going to use, however they're going to play it, and I like it to be that way rather than being like how they're doing Thor right now, where it's like Jane's going to be the new Thor, but does that mean we're going to get Thor? And I like to think, I think they are, but I like to think that we're not just replacing Superman or replacing Batman, which I don't think, because Matt Reeves has a Batman trilogy, although that's may not even be the same universe as the DCEU. Who knows at this point, right? But I like to think they're not replacing the DCEU Superman and Batman. I like to think that they're adding to it, adding Supergirl, adding Batgirl, so that they can all, be in part of the same family and stuff like that. And so we'll still have a new Superman movie. We'll still have a new Batman movie. An older Batman, who knows, or Matt Reeves Batman if that's taken over, who knows. But but number one is Superman movie. I get it. We've had so many Superman films, and we've barely had any, just one Supergirl movie, and it's not fair. I get it, but as a Superman fan, I'm still looking forward to a Superman movie, another Superman movie. But you know what? Supergirl movie is right down my alley as well. It's the supers that the L's that I want to know more about, that want to see more movies about. I'm not throwing shade on Batman, but there's a lot of Batman type stuff going on right now, and as more of a Superman the family, I want to see more of that, be it Supergirl, Superboy, the dog, I just feel like we're getting so much Batman centric rogues gallery and villains and things like Suicide Squad. It's like I just want more Superman. And is that so much hard? Is that too hard to ask? But in any case, I'm glad their Supergirl is going to be on the slate, not just Batgirl, unless this is wrong and it's actually just Batgirl, not Supergirl. Who knows? But in any case, it's interesting, and I want to look forward. I look forward to how they're going to build this DCU, and how they're going to continue on, and how much are they going to keep from the old DCEU. That's part of the conversation anyway. But as part of the old DCU or the current DCU, however you want to think about it, Aquaman. Jason Momoa is Aquaman. He is a fantastic Aquaman. The movie made $1 billion. They're going to make a sequel. I just noticed this article going out today, and I noticed that recently one of them deleted it for whatever reason, but it's in concerns to a Instagram picture that Jason Momoa put out on his account called Pride of Gypsies, and it is a picture, and I'm very familiar with this because I do live in Hawaii. There is something going on the Big Island, on the Mauna Kea mountain. They're trying to build, I forget, it's the government, or the state's trying to build this giant, a giant telescope over there, right? And the local people, the natives especially, are trying to keep this from happening because this is sacred grounds and stuff like that, holy ground in terms of this is Hawaiian land, and so they've been protesting, they've been trying to block trucks, they've been doing a lot of things, and it seems like Aquaman himself is getting involved in this. He posted this picture. I don't think he actually was there, as it said on the bottom, at Canyo Lang, but he said this: F this, and TMT is 4 times bigger. TMT is it's kind of like it's about the telescope, and so he says it's 4 times bigger. Sorry, Warner Brothers, we can't shoot Aquaman 2 because Jason got run over by a bulldozer trying to stop the desecration of his native land. this is not happening. We are not letting you do this anymore. Enough is enough. Go somewhere else. Repost. This is what telescope construction looks like. Subaru telescope 1992. So that's not what's actually happening. The TMT will be 4 times larger on unscathed land. We must protect our sacred mountain from further desecration. Kukaya Mauna, we are Mauna Kea, TMT shut down. So, and it's true. This thing is actually right now happening on the Big Island, and he's getting involved with it. I don't know what he means by sorry, Warner Bros. We can't shoot Aquaman 2. I don't know if this is even a push or anything, or he's just saying that, hey, I'm probably going to get run over by a bulldozer trying to stop this desecration. So, Aquaman 2 is probably not going to happen because I'm not going to be alive. He could be playfully saying that. I don't think the article suggests that he's going to use Aquaman 2 in order to do this, to protest, and by not doing Aquaman 2, but I don't think that's the case at all. I really don't. I think he's just saying that if something happens to him when he's protesting this, then Aquaman 2 is not going to happen. So I like to say it's go ahead. I would say, like, not that you're going to listen to any of this, but that's what he believes in. That's what he believes in. He's going to go and protest and whatever, but please keep safe. Please don't do anything dumb and actually get run over by a bulldozer. But if he does, then the bulldozer guy's going to get thrown in jail for manslaughter. But I just want to let you aware that this is a big thing over on the Big Island right now, and it would make sense for someone like Jason Momoa to get involved in that type of ordeal. And best of luck to him if he does get involved and able to stop this thing from happening. I don't know if they can. I mean, it shows in humanity and mankind's strive for progress. It's going to be a difficult battle, but best of luck to them. Best of luck to them. So, in any case, I still think Aquaman 2 is happening. But moving on, and this may just be, something I just want to talk about. And if you don't want to listen to this part, I'm going to say it's about the 165. So if you don't want to listen anymore, you can shut off this video, unsubscribe, whatever. But I just gotta think. I'm thinking about this cut a little bit more today. I know a lot of people's feelings about it, 214 or nothing, things like that, whatever. But I'm thinking about it, and it's possible, right? That this has nothing to do with Zack and stuff. This is about Warner Brothers, right? Warner Brothers keeping silent, and a lot of these scoopers and bloggers, and I'm just thinking why Mark Hughes would say that now. And he said it in a way that he said he was wrong, right? And I'm like, wrong? But so where did you get that whole... You fought with Jay Oliva. You fought with stuff and stuff. So you fought with people. And, obviously he's working with Jay Oliva right now. Is it possible Jay Oliva told him about the 165? But why didn't Jay Oliva tell us about the 165? Or I'm saying 165, but it's actually 2 hours, 45 minutes, which equates to 165. It's just easier to say 165. But... and he can throw me in the 165 club for all I care. But I'm just thinking, if Mark Hughes is apologizing, saying he was wrong, he found out that something's more 90. It was 90% more complete, and the 90% on the shorter cut is more complete. Then is that something like Warner Brothers wants to hide? If you think about it, Humberto Gonzalez and a whole bunch of other people had said. Verbatim, it's like it's an assembly cut. It's an assembly cut. We kept hearing that. Many bloggers were saying, many media, the press, were the people in the websites and stuff like that. They're all been saying it's an assembly cut. It's an assembly cut. Even Ben Fritz, right, and the senior executive of whatever in that Wall Street Journal saying that it's a mythical Snyder Cut, never moved past the assembly cut. Assembly cut. I mean, it is a term in the vocabulary of production processes. But what if now I don't know, but what if Warner Brothers has been force feeding this to the news? They've been saying this, trying to hide the fact that Zack Snyder got farther in completing his cut, whether it's the 165, the 180, 200, whatever. But they're trying to hide this thing by saying that he only got as far as the assembly cut, right? And we know by now that he got farther than that. But just in the minds, if you take a step back and you're thinking like a journalist, and as a journalist, you're gonna contact the studio because the studio owns the movie. So you go to the studio, you call them up, and they said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. There's only there is no Snyder Cut. It never went past the assembly cut. Is that, what John Campea is saying, right? So it never went past. Of course, Kevin Smith blurted out there, no, I got a little farther than that. But there is a cut. It does exist. And now we're going to the point where it's like, okay, Warner Brothers is like, okay, we'll let that one go because it's still not done. We're not gonna put any money into it. It's okay. It's past the assembly cut. Not that they're saying anything. They're very silent about this. They're not saying a thing. Zach's not saying a thing. It's just my speculation. Let's that be clear. But Warner Brothers could be saying, hey, you know what? We're still not saying anything, right? Because it's not even done, and the journalists are gonna go to the VFX people and they're gonna report that it's gonna cost another 30-40 million, whatever, so their studio's not gonna spend money on that. The Ringer, he's gonna go contact some other people, says, do you think the studio will spend 30 or 40 million on a cut to release that? And they're like, no, they're not gonna do that, right? So we're being very conspiracy here, but Warner Brothers maybe just like let them think that. Let them think that we don't even have a single cut. It never got past assembly. It never got past anything that we put our investor money into, which is true because that's the 214, right? The 214 is probably not anywhere near completion, or we don't even know the substantiate amount, what minor tweaks is. But I was thinking that when Mark Hughes said that there is a shorter cut, that's almost 90% complete. And if you think about it, this could be the Justice League theatrical that Zack Snyder approved of. This is what he was going to put on theaters because, in theater, you can't have a 3-hour cut, over 3 hours. It has to be below 3 hours in order for the theaters to want to show it. And so you think about that and you're like, Warner Brothers may be wanting to hide this fact. This is their gravestone, per se. This is the part that will expose all their lies, okay? Because it had gone further. It had gone up to the point that there is an actual theatrical, ready-made theatrical cut before Joss Whedon showed up. Because they wanted you to believe that it never got that far. It never got that far. But did get far, and just by exposing that fact that if Mark Hughes is right and there was a 2-hour and 45-minute theatrical Zack Snyder shot, music, everything, it's a watchable, you can walk in the theaters right now and watch that cut. And it won't have a lot of, it won't, probably not even a bunch of too much previs and stuff, almost 100% cut. Then we've just exposed Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers is going to be like, oh, they know. Well, I guess we're going to have to ante up the other one, huh? I mean, that's the level of exposure. I think it's on its way there. But who am I, right? I'm just a dude on YouTube. I don't know any better. I'm just speculating. And hey, like I said, if the 214 is done, then hell yeah, release that and F the 165, right? Anyway, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.